welcome to each one of you. We're back to the ordinary time, and in the acclamation to the gospel today it is said, "The word is a lamp on my feet and a light on my pathway." Jesus said to his disciples in the gospel, "You have heard that it was said, an eye for an eye and a tooth for a tooth. But I say to you," what are you doing? What's going on?
I do nothing.
You're doing nothing?
Nothing.
I need help.
She needs help.
I don't want to help her. Yesterday, I needed help and she didn't come. So today, I do nothing.
You're not going to help her.
No.
Well, I think if you stay like that, you're both going to be in the Old Testament. Why don't you start living in the New Testament with charity? Faith, hope, and charity. That's the way to live successfully. Charity. Why don't you start over today?
Okay.
Okay?
Good idea.
Good idea?
Charity.
Thank you.
Charity.
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 Charity. Charity. Have faith, hope, and charity. That's the way to live successfully. There's the law of the Old Testament and the law of the New Testament. But we are of the New Testament, and that is the law of love. I like this moment when Jesus is in Gethsemane with his disciples, and the soldiers come to arrest Jesus. And Peter just cuts off the ear of Malchus. And Jesus turns to Peter and says to Peter, "No, that's not the way, my Peter. That's not the way of the New Testament." And he took the ear of the man that we say, and he put it back, and he healed them. And he was the man that was coming to arrest Jesus. But that wasn't the way Jesus wanted us to live. We see St. Paul also. St. Paul that was killing all the Christians, and God came to him and offered him this grace of conversion. And Paul continued with all his fire. He went on to announce this Jesus resurrection, the resurrection of Jesus. He went on to announce the New Testament, all that Jesus had said, and all the way that we had to love one another. The saints live by this new law also. And we see one that I like very, very much is Vincent De Paul from Peru. One day he was working with a dentist, and came in this man, and the man was very insulting to Martin because he was mulâtre. I don't know how you say it, but he was a mulâtre, and the man insulted him very much. But Martin was very, very nice to him, very smooth with him. And after that, when he left, the dentist just turned to Martin and said, "How come you were so nice with him? How come you were so gentle with him? He didn't even notice that you removed his tooth." And Martin said, when people are miserable like that, when people are nasty, it's because they need more love. They're missing on the important part of the life, that is love. So it's my duty to give them more love. How do you like that one? And I have another one for you also. It's Vincent De Paul. When Vincent was talking to Jeanne, his novice, about giving bread and soup to the poor people, he said it wouldn't be easy to do that. And listen to exactly what Vincent said to her. He said, "You will find out that charity is a heavy burden to carry, heavier than the kettle of soup and the full basket of bread. But you will keep your gentleness and your smile. It is not enough to give soup and bread. The rich can do it also. You are the servant of the poor, always smiling and good-humored. They are your masters, terribly sensitive. Masters exacting masters. And the uglier and the dirtier they will be, the more unjust and insulting, the more love you must give them. It is only by your love alone that the poor will forgive you the bread you give to them. There's not much to say after words like this, and these are words of saints. But they didn't get there on the first day of their birth. They went on what we call a little plus of love every day. Forgiving, loving, giving and not expecting anything afterwards. This is the real love of the New Testament. And Mary was in Nazareth, and she educated Jesus to be living like that. And she wants to help us out too. If we just ask her, Mary, please educate me. Please help me to love a little bit more every day and not go back to the law of the Old Testament, but to live in the pathway of Jesus or in the pathway of the saints, in the pathway of love. This is what Jesus is expecting of us, and he will help us every day if we ask him, and if we ask him, we'll experience the goodness of our Father, who gives us everything we need. He wants you, he wants me, and he wants us together to be saints. And as we saw at the beginning, Lise and Miriam, they decided to start over together. And this in a family can help us very much. To start over together. Not just one who starts over, not the other one. But to be humble, one in front of the other, and to say, yes, I have errors, I made errors, but why wouldn't we start over in our pathway to love, to holiness together? Let's go see Jesus and ask him.